Yo, what's up? In this video, I'm going to talk about the contradictions of ESPN. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Stephen A. Smith got suspended for pretty much saying we need to start. This what he said, paraphrasing, but he said we need to start calling out some of these women who provoke these men to act this way. Now, I understood what he said when he made that statement on ESPN. 78 Fight News made a video about this also. And Stephen A. Smith basically was saying, to the women who trying to fight the man, punch him and throw stuff at him and hit him and stuff, don't be surprised or don't be, whatever, when the man strike you back or whatever, or react in a way. Okay, now some men walk away from that. Some men hit back. I can't knock the people who walk away if they know what'll happen, going to jail and stuff. And I can't really knock the people who react when somebody punching them in the head and hitting them with pans and stuff like that. They got to defend themselves. Those the type of women that Stephen A. Smith was talking about. He didn't say Ray Rice, fiance was hitting him and she got what he deserved. He don't know or whatever, He didn't say, 99% of domestic violence, the woman provoked the man. He didn't say anything like that, or women got what coming to them, when they get hit. The man hit you for a reason and all that, because we all know that some cases that's not the case. That's just like saying if you wear a nice dress, you provoking a man to rape you. That's the way that people like Michelle Beadle and all the other people like that were trying to imply. Now, Michelle Beadle is a moron. She worked with the man because she was the main front runner of this and led to the man getting suspended. She worked in the same company as the man. I guess it's in the same studio or whatever. She could have simply, once she heard first day, instead of going to Twitter like a fan or something like that, you got direct access to Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to get to the contradiction part in a minute. She had direct access to Stephen A. Smith or whatever. She could have just, after the show, she could have called Stephen A. Smith or went to his studio or whatever and say, look, what you said, could you, clarify or whatever, because I thought, you said this or whatever. And then they talk it out, or say I felt offended, because it's all right if she felt offended about it, but leading to the man get suspended without talking to the man and see what he really meant, or, did he say it the wrong way or whatever. And they could have had a sit down like grown people. And then Stephen A. Smith probably would have still apologized, because we all know ESPN forced that on him to do that. He could have just said that Monday, I talked to a colleague, a female colleague, and she felt offended and, she wanted me to clarify and stuff. And then he would have went on doing the same apology. No harm, no foul or whatever. She led this and got the man suspended, and she on Twitter giving these garbage examples of how men walked away, the Solange and Jay-Z thing. Now, I was cracking on Jay-Z because it was funny, how he was standing there and stuff and flinching. But she said that, Jay-Z walk away, I guess that prove a point, which it don't. If Jay-Z, so you mean to tell me, I wrote this to her, she saw it. So you mean to tell me if Jay-Z would have pushed, you saw how she was hitting that man. So if Jay-Z would have pushed her off and she would have, failed or something, to get her off him, he would have been in the same vein as Ike Turner and Chris Brown. That is so dumb. Okay? That is dumb. You know, Jay-Z did the right thing. If he would have pushed her off her, he would have did the right thing too. You know. Because people like you, Michelle Beadle, you would have labeled him a monster. So I don't like Jay-Z music or whatever. But if he would have pushed her off, I wouldn't label him a woman beater and all this other stuff, you know, because we saw what happened. So Stephen A. Smith got suspended, and then 78 Fight News did another video like a couple of days later about Max Kellerman. Said, you know, when he was younger or whatever, he got into his girlfriend, then now wife. Then we learned, you know, to get over that or whatever. He got suspended for that for some reason. Okay. Now, let me get into the contradiction. Now, what the two examples of the two cases of Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, what was the theme of it? Women rights, women getting treated fairly, women, okay? Now, the contradiction part of ESPN is them inviting Lil Wayne on ESPN. This past week, Lil Wayne was on Sports Center and all this other stuff. And then this wasn't his first time on ESPN doing the stuff. He's been on ESPN multiple times, okay, for years. But ESPN wanted to suspend Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman for stating their opinion. Max Kellerman giving his perspective, you know. They want to suspend him for that. It's suspend both of them for that. But Lil Wayne got the song degrading women, talk about women as sex objects. I'm going to beat that P up like Emmett Till and all this other stuff. He's saying far worse things, you know. Even if Stephen A. Smith would have said, did some of these women, you know, even if Stephen A. Smith would have said, sometimes women provoke women without going into detail, that wouldn't have been as worse than what Lil Wayne say on tapes, okay? I'm not a fan of Lil Wayne, obviously, but not because of, well, that too, because he sucked, for one thing, you know. But nevertheless, they have Lil Wayne on ESPN masquerading, and they honor, they revere him. You know, it's a big event when he come on the show and stuff. He was on Around the Horn one time. He was on First Take. If I was Stephen A. Smith, I would have had something to say about that, you know. He was on Sports Center. Then women talk about women like a dog in them tapes, in them songs and stuff. But I guess that's okay to ESPN. I guess they saying, oh, you could degrade women and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about, you know, cause every rapper say B's and H at one time or another. Some to prove a point. Some talking about, you know, nasty women or whatever. But this guy degrade women. That's the most of his stuff, you know. But ESPN, when it comes to women's rights, I guess, you know, Lil Wayne get an exemption for that. Okay? Michelle Beadle, she didn't tweet about that. She didn't tweet about why ESPN got Lil Wayne on the thing. He talk about women and degrade women and stuff like that. You know, he ain't Carmen or somebody like that. You know. But they have him on the show and First Take. He was on First Take the other day, which I feel was a slap in the face to Stephen A. Smith. If I was Stephen A. Smith, I would have walked up to the people and said, hey, y'all suspended me for saying some women be hitting men that cause the men to hit them back. I got suspended for that. You know, because they disrespect women and women's rights. But Lil Wayne on here talk about women as a dog, talking about how he ejaculate on their face and all this other stuff. But he get on the show and he get his own segments and stuff like that. There's a hypocrite. There's a contradiction, ESPN. Now, if you're going to stand by women's rights, stand by it. Not when it's just convenient. You know, with this Ray Rice situation. Y'all need to start having people like Lil Wayne on the show if y'all care so much about women. Now, I'm getting mixed messages from ESPN. Now, don't be disrespectful to women or be disrespectful, you know, as long as you singing it, rapping in song or whatever. You know, long you don't say anything about beating women. You can talk about how you do them and do all kind of stuff to them, run trains on them and stuff in songs. That's fine, I guess. I guess if Stephen A. Smith would have said that, he wouldn't got suspended. Michelle Beadle wouldn't have a problem with that. You know, Max Kellerman would have said what he do to his wife and stuff in the bed and go into graphic details. I guess that'd have been fine. You know, but don't dare say, oh, you know, some women need to, you know, he didn't say all now, by the way. But I guess if he, you know, by him saying, well, some women be hitting men and throwing stuff at them and hitting them with weapons, you know, and they got to defend themselves. Oh, that's over the line, Stephen A. Smith. You get suspended for that. You could talk about their bodies and how you do them and stuff, but don't talk about, you know, women hitting men, you know. See, that is a hypocrisy, a contradiction, one or the other, okay, towards ESPN. Lil Wayne, you know, they have Nelly on there. Nelly talk about women too. Drake do too, but it's not on the level. I'm okay with, you know, it's their right to say the stuff. You know, I'm not saying Lil Wayne shouldn't say it, but I don't listen to his music anyway. I'm not saying they don't have the right to rap about the stuff. You know, it's not against the law. But I'm saying is, if ESPN they stand by women's rights, you know, they put women on pedestals and stuff like that, and Stephen A. Smith need to answer for what he done and stuff. They shouldn't have Lil Wayne or people who rap like that about women on the show. They're sending two different messages. You know, that's all I'm saying. Oh, now which one, ESPN? The man just said, look, some women be provoking men, and some men react that way. Some men walk away. Some men react that way. And we need to call out the women who be punching the man and pushing them and stuff and saying some foul stuff to the people, you know, provoking. They're just like me. You know, we somewhere in a public place and John Jones or, I don't know, a boxer or something, or Chuck Liddell or Rashard Evans or somebody, they in a public place. And I start just saying foul stuff. I don't know if all of them got children. Saying foul stuff about their children and what I'm going to do to them and their wives and stuff. You know. And you know, and do to them too. I'm going to beat them up and I'm going to do this and all of that. And I'm provoking them. You know. Right? And if they come over and beat the snot out of me, which they will, because they MMA fighters and trained, they going to jail for assault, of course, but I'm not a victim. You know, I got what coming to them because I provoked them to attack me or whatever. You know, that's all to it. That's the thing that Stephen A. Smith was saying. He's not saying a woman who, you know, a man walk in for work, oh, this food isn't good, and start beating her or something like that. Or they get in an argument, you know, every couple getting arguments. And then the man just start beating her and stuff because she disagree with him. You know, stuff like that. Of course the man in the wrong and the woman the victim. You know, but My thing is, ESPN are hypocrites. If they for women and all this other stuff, don't have Lil Wayne on there, and they revere him like he's Michael Jackson or Prince or somebody like that, if for a music artist, you know. So, and I'm sending this to Stephen A. Smith too. I'm gonna ask him. I know he ain't gonna answer, but I'm gonna ask him just to bring it to the table. I'm gonna ask Stephen A. Smith on Twitter. Stephen A. Smith, they suspending you. How do you feel about Lil Wayne on the show? And he degrade women. He talk about women more than anything you could possibly say. You know, in that little statement that day. And I'm gonna send that to that idiot Michelle Beadle too. Why you ain't tweeting about ESPN treatment of Lil Wayne and how they honor him and put him on the pedestal and stuff, and he degrade women? Answer me, Michelle Beadle. Why you ain't saying nothing about that? That's why I'm a sinner. So tell me what, let me know your thoughts about this. With that said, that's it.